Peace and blessings, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. I'm trying to talk as clearly as possible. Alright, now, once you go down a rabbit hole, man, it's kind of hard to unsee some of the things that you've seen, but you have to keep in mind that you're not being manipulated at the same time. Alright? Now, I'm gonna just speak about the whole Project Looking Glass and what I get from it. All right. Now they were saying that they traveled to the Middle East to retrieve this technology. All right, and this is based on your. I'm just talking. All right, I'm just talking. This is based on your Stargate movie, right? Utilizing the Stargate movie, all right, and also the movie, not a movie, but a TV show. I think it's called the Man in the Castle, right? Where they're utilizing technology, right? To trying to see possible outcomes, right? And in terms of the whole multiverse stuff, it's a possibility that exists as well, right? To see other realities, other dimensions, other alternative outcomes, right? I'm trying to get all my So I was looking at a video, and a young lady was out there with she was doing like a little video where she was meditating. I think she was by a lake, right? And I think she was out there with like a few of her friends or a few of her family members, and she said that they were helicopters hovering above them. And she said that a few times that she's come out to the lake to meditate, that there've been helicopters. Now, anytime that you see helicopters, there's a possibility that there is UFOs in the area. Anytime that you see helicopters, there's a possibility that there are UFOs or UAPs in the area, right? And though you may not see them, we know based on like the perception of movies, these beings have the ability to cloak themselves or cloak their vessels, right? Now, as chosen ones, as children of the light, children of the Most High, children of the Sun, all right. You have to understand that they are they don't want to see a lot of you ascend, all right. They want to keep you entrapped in a not necessarily say a spiritual sense, but in a physical sense, right? Because they can't entrap you spiritually, but what they want to do is try and entrap you physically, right? To entrap not just your physical body, but your mind, right? And you have to keep in mind that sometimes, like chosen ones, I seen another lady. She was in, I forgot where she was at. I think she was somewhere in Europe, and she was by a beach, and she said that she was by herself, and she was just relaxing, once again by water, right? And then all of a sudden, she had like a whole group like surround her, and the beach was pretty big, looked like a pretty big beach. But then she was just like, I was just here by myself, and then all of a sudden, all these people just came up out of nowhere, right? But she didn't feel uncomfortable, but she was just saying that it's just weird that she was pretty much by herself, and then all of a sudden, just a whole bunch of people just showed up around her. Now, we talk about the whole NPCs and clones and all that stuff, right? You have to keep in mind, they sometimes when they put stuff in movies, man, it's kind of like to show you what is really happening, right? Because part of I guess the universal law of, I guess, whatever they say is deception, they have to. You have to agree with the deception. You have to agree with the deception. Right? So you seen in the movie they cloned Tyrone. They were literally cloning people, right? And then literally in a laboratory above the city or above cities, and then bringing these genetically modified people, right? Programmed people, and bringing them to the surface, and then literally releasing them into the public, right? And this is not based on like acting or no Hollywood stuff. This is based on what the technology that these beings possibly have. Right? That's what we talk about, like when we see what we call false flags and things like that. And you wonder to yourself, like, why would other human beings go out of their way to try and harm other human beings? Because it's a possibility. It's possible that these people that we see could be clones, literally clones, programmed clones. Right? And this is not to include cyborgs or robotics, which is advancing at a rapid pace. All right? And then you ask yourself, with AI improving so much and technology improving so much, why is there no improvement in infrastructure? All right, because if you think about the mythology aspect of certain deities or certain gods, their thing to build, they have to destroy. So they destroy old civilizations, they destroy old buildings, right? And if you've gone down the rabbit hole of the whole Tartaria stuff and the technology, that is very crazy, right? Because we see that these buildings that they're tearing down, they can't rebuild them in that same manner, right? Well, what they're doing is if you're in a plane, or if you're in a helicopter or whatever, you're above any modern civilization. You're looking down at a town or a city. You'll see that it's boxed off, and it looks like a grid. It looks like a computer board, right? And that's what we're seeing. And they're literally tearing down old structures that was once, if you resonate with that, where the old civilization used to utilize energy literally from the field within this realm, right? And this is one of the reasons why there was a lot of pushback on Nikola Tesla's technology, right? Because he was trying to provide free energy, or provide a free energy source that was provided to us, right? But that takes away, and this is kind of like the main thing I was trying to say. It takes away from the control aspect, right? These entities, all they seek is control. It's not about. I said this before. It's not about what you see as acts of racism and prejudice and discrimination and all that stuff. It's just about control. It's not even. As funny as it may seem, it's not even about money. And then you guys are going to see that in the future, right? It's not. It was never about money. The delusion is to believe that these people are so overwhelmingly rich with wealth that it's like mind-boggling to you. But in reality, that's not true either. Right? Because if just based on the times that we're living in now and the technology, right? It is meant to just get your attention, all right? So prior to any rich people that we knew of before, you could care less about what they had going on, right? Because you didn't have access to that type of technology to where you can now scroll or look up somebody or see what their net worth is and what they have, because you were just living your life. You were just focused on what your goals were or what you wanted to accomplish, things that you wanted to do, places that you wanted to go, right? As opposed to seeing where this person is going or what that person has or what that person is doing, right? But now, what they want to get you, they want you to be fixated on what they have going on as opposed to what you have going on. Folks, y'all better go back and look at the what's that movie? What's that show called? American Gods. Y'all better go back and look at that show, man. That show was very, very telling. Hidden technology right before your eyes. They went on when they went to have their meeting. They went on a carousel at like an old amusement park, and it took them into another realm where when they were in their true form as opposed to their human-looking form. Right? Hidden technology right before your eyes. Certain buildings, certain structures, old ancient technology, even the pyramids, old ancient technology, right? I was looking at a video when these people were I guess they're in Egypt. I want to say they were in Luxor. I didn't go to Luxor. I was in I was in the Giza Plateau, and I went to a few locations that was close by to see the other pyramids. I want to say Saqqara, where I was at, and I went to see the I think it was the Red Pyramid and the Bent Pyramid, but there were some temples there that Imhotep had built as well, and that even to this day, that technology is still mind-boggling. This is my main point. Because of this Project Looking Glass stuff, right? If they had an opportunity to see the outcome of certain things into the future, right? And these entities or whatever they are, deities, they can't control the overall outcome. All they can do now is to manipulate time leading up to that inevitable event or that inevitable future, right? Where they no longer have control, where they no longer can manipulate the masses. All right, and that's just me sharing my thoughts, man. I didn't want to make it too long and nothing too crazy, but you can see it for yourself. All right. Stuff is happening, but is it natural or is it technology? All right, and then you have to realize that how long can you control people? How long can you control the masses? All right, and then if you are utilizing the technology to share information or allow information to come out, because keep in mind, there's a lot of things that we don't know about, a lot of things that we don't see. All right, that's why sometimes I'm even surprised that some information even comes out. But then once it comes out, how are people going to react to it? Are they going to be numb to it? Are they going to just be cool with going along with the deception, as to speak? Right? If you know certain bad things are happening, I was looking at a video. I don't know how real it was, where a bunch of people found out some crazy stuff about some government officials, and they raided the building. I don't know what country it was, but the people, they didn't look happy. And they went into the offices and they went looking for people. And this is why to me, in my opinion, right? If you have nothing to fear, why are then you utilizing utilizing the need for bunkers and bunker cities and all that. And I just went down a rabbit hole yesterday. They have. I'm not trying to put out the whole zombie stuff, right? I meant no disrespect by that, but it's a real thing, and they put it out into manifestation through the movies, right? Where all throughout the world there are hidden cities underneath our cities. They are hidden cities underneath our cities, where the quote unquote powers that be, because of the corruption, which is very, very open and very, very blatant now, right? They have no need to hide about the things that are being done, or the things that they're doing. They're not even hiding it anymore. They're just trying to see how cool you're going to be with it, right? But some people in some countries, some parts of the world, they're not cool with a lot of things going on, right? And this is why I say that a lot of people are going to run to these bunkers and to these cities, because people are going to get they're going to get tired of the BS, right? And these people are quote unquote clones, hybrids. The alien stuff is very, very real. We don't have to lie to ourselves anymore. We know that stuff is very, very real. All right. I've personally seen UAPs and UFOs, so I know that there's technology, right, being utilized that from whether it's us or with help from things that are not human, without a doubt. The way that technology has exploded across the world, right? But there's still, there's still some places in the world that are not utilizing no great forms of technology, but yet they can do amazing things. They have limited infrastructure, but they're still striving. As long as they have access to drinkable water, they have access to grow their food, right? Some type of functioning, whatever system to run their villages or towns, right? They're functioning. But then there's some places where it's so advanced, it looks like it's so cool and it looks like it's the future, but it's really a controlled construct. I hate to say it, but it's real. Tearing down places or places being destroyed just to build a controlled environment. Keep in mind, if they're saying that they can see the future, or they can see possible outcomes of other things, that means that they've seen natural disasters. They've seen this. They've seen things happening in different parts of the world where they could literally warn the people, prepare the people, relocate the people so that less people perish. But this overall, to me, is about control. It's not about money. It's not about politics. Because if these entities have the ability that they can have, they interact with people every day. They're not cooped up in offices. They're not having 1,000 meetings. They are changing their form, or changing the matter around us for us based on the spectrum of light that we can see. And they are literally walking amongst people. They want to know what you're thinking. If they have some type of telepathic ability, possibly to push, thoughts on your mind. They want to know what everybody's thinking. They want to know what's going on, what your opinion is. And how can they do that? But be amongst the people. You guys think that they're having these big meetings and all that? No, they're walking the streets just like you, because they want to know what you think. They want to make sure that you are agreeable with the deception. And with the whole alien stuff too, I'm going to say this. With the whole alien stuff, Just like how there's a lot of people on Earth, there's a lot of aliens. Just like there's a lot of people on Earth, there's a lot of aliens. Based on the technology that is being pushed and utilized, it is to keep a certain frequency on the realm, on the planet, that we do not see them. When that technology can no longer be utilized, right, and we see them in their true form, they have no reason but to hide, because they know that it's going to cause chaos. Imagine your quote unquote best friend, just like in the movie They Live, your best friend or your spouse or whomever, and then you, in a split second, you turn around and they're not human. You see them, you're like, what the hell? They're not human. This is happening for real. I know a lot of y'all don't want to believe it, but these things are happening for real. And this is going into the Project Looking Glass stuff, right? And the whole Stargate stuff. If there's a future where they can no longer hide, right? And this is one of the problems with what chosen ones are going through now, right? They know that some of you guys can sense them. Though you cannot pinpoint that they are aliens, a lot of you guys can feel it. A lot of y'all can sense it. That's why some of y'all get sensitive around certain people, right? Because they are energy vampires. They are energy vampires. It's real. Once again, if you're going into your biblical lore, these entities, if they're called angels, we call them aliens, whatever, it's a whole bunch of them, a lot of them. The Bible says 1/3 of the angels fell. 1/3. So it's a lot of aliens amongst us. All right? And if they are cut off from the heavens, meaning that they are now in a lower realm, that the frequencies and the access that they had, the energies that they had access to, they no longer have access to that. What they're utilizing is the technology and the abilities that they had prior to the fall. And because we are not completely like them, we are a different creation, right? We are a different creation. We are creations from the Most High. So we are different from them. But we are still connected to Source. We're still connected to Source. They're not. So if they're cut off from Source, then they want to be close to us. They want to touch us because they want to feel that feeling again, not being cut off from the Most High. That is just based on sci-fi, biblical lore. All right? So if they can confine a bunch of you into, say, going back to your whole prison stuff, right? That's a whole bunch of energy that they could utilize. A whole bunch of people that's connected to Source. And feel that energy. All right? What you call a spirit, a soul. They can feel it. They can utilize that in some form of technology. But then the scary part is, this is why I say that humanity is probably gonna. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to scare y'all, man. But if the day comes that the veil falls and the technology can no longer be utilized and they can't hide amongst people, then they're probably gonna do crazy stuff. Right? Because humans are not gonna just sit around and have a boss as an alien or have a spouse as an alien, right? This is what life was like in your old world. The pre-flood times. Only now they're hidden. Now they're cloaked. Now they look different. Even in your Terminator movie, your guy was explaining it to you about the cyborgs. He said they have skin. He said they can bleed. He said they have bad breath. They sweat. You can't even tell. They're giving you little clues in a lot of these movies. I'm not trying to scare people, man. I'm just being real. I'm just being real. All right? This is about control. It's always been about control. These people could care less about humanity. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being real. And to hold on to the little timeline that they have left because they see the future, and it's a future that they cannot change. And this is if you're going off a sci-fi lore in terms of the multiverse. This is what they saying that your CERN, that's what their main mission is, because they were trying to not just let I guess these entities in from a parallel dimension, but also to search for a reality in which they can still be in charge, they can still be in control and not lose control, where they can still hide themselves amongst people. But there has to be, to me, there has to be a possibility that in the future they can no longer hide themselves. Thus, you have your mass production of these data centers, these underground cities, because when they can no longer cloak themselves or hide themselves, that is what they're going to do. That's where they're going to go. What you see physically is happening spiritually. I know they say that there's no outer space and all that stuff. We know that the Bible says there's waters above and there's waters below. So water is the closest thing to space. Right? But they're going underneath the earth. If the Most High, the Messiah, all the good aliens or the good angels are coming, right? Why would then you, if you're a good person and you care about humanity and you're trying to help people, why would you then go to hide yourself? Do you understand? What are you hiding from? Whom are you hiding from? But if you have corrupted the world and you've destroyed the world, you've been the biggest enemy to mankind, then yes, you're gonna go run and hide. Imagine if there's a real space force. Right? We know that they got authority figures in all type of manners and all type of figures in this dimension, right? But imagine there's a real space force that's coming to enforce real cosmic justice. Do you understand? That's who they're gonna hide from, who they're gonna run from. All right? That's why I say I'm not running from nobody. Right?